As werewolves, we are bred to follow our alpha. It's like an instinct, like a compass. We just have to follow the compass.
Alright.
Right, we've got a lot to do. Let's go.
I didn't want to bring a child with us.
We're bringing the child with us.
What do you mean?
A woman steps forward and is like, the hell you are.
Exactly. Because if this child dies or gets captured, it's on our heads. The fuck out of here with that.
Okay, you decide. You or him?
How about maybe one of our soldiers that are still here?
They're not here, they're dead, basically. They're here, but they're not.
There are indeed.
I need someone with strength.
There are indeed 5 soldiers still standing around here waiting for,
I'm gonna take 2 of them. I'm gonna take 2 of your soldiers. I'm leaving the 3 here for you, so you have some form of defense.
kind of nods. And, the two soldiers kind of immediately stand, one being the strongest and one being the weakest. They do like to disperse evenly their strength.
That's fair enough.
So, the one that looks a bit more buff, introduces himself, crossing his arms across his chest and kneeling in a way that you are familiar with, Kyron, as a soldier's greeting. Basically, someone of lower rank, essentially saluting someone of a higher rank.
Howdy, soldier. Let's go. We've got a lot to do and a little time to do it. Let's go.
I'm Sebastian, sir. This is Caleb.
Sebastian and Caleb. Okay, I'll remember those. Right, let's go. We've got a lot to do and no time to do it.
Okay, so we don't have anyone else we can ask, right?
What?
Not right now, no. We need to get,
I'm gonna need to ask.
my primary objective is to get Anadin. Adeline, sorry, not Anadin.
Sure.
Just Adeline.
Okay, hold up. Let me just call down my god. How do you say his name? Abad?
Abad.
Okay. I called down Abad. I prayed to Abad to come down here for some.
Abad.
Alright, roll a religion check.
Abad.
Okay. Uh, 15 plus 2, so 17.
So you do pray and pray and pray, and Abad does come down from the heavens. A very elderly-looking man dressed in browns and blacks, and just generally looking like he just stepped out of the forest after living there for millennia.
Lord Abad? Is it?
Abad, this is it.
Yeah,
Abad.
Lord Abad.
Abad.
Abad. Lord
Abad.
Abad. Oh my god.
Lord Abad.
Okay.
Like
Lord
a bad guy, but without the guy.
I'm saying my lord, because I can't do the same one. Lord Abad. We need your help.
Hey, that was right.
Shut.
Whatever with my child.
We need to figure out how to get to where Adeline is. And we need to get there quickly, because we can't spend another day trying to... spend another month trying to get back to where we are.
Let the trees guide you, my dear.
Alright.
He kind of takes a deep breath and then disappears.
Anyway.
And roll a perception check.
Oh my.
19 plus 7. 26.
you recognize the trees standing around you. They look very similar to another tree that you did fight when you were abducted by the vampires.
Oh, the tree golem.
Oh, yeah. Wait, when was that?
You remember? We went to sleep. They I don't know, they subdued us
Oh, yeah.
in our sleep and took us to Thingy Bob. And then the Horn Honeys got us.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
So these trees kind of all creak and crack and make general, like, flowy movements as if they're waking up from a deep slumber. And as they do this, they all kind of bend their large trunks downward, and as if to tell you to climb aboard.
Alright.
Let's go.
Oh. Oopsie daisy.
Isla, Sebastian, and Caleb all follow.
Good.
As soon as you are atop the trees, of which there are 4,
Mm-hmm.
the trees kind of take off in a running sprint. And it is
Holy crap.
it is much faster than anything you are familiar with.
Huh.
This is awesome.
Okay, Anna, doing this from now on. I don't want to sacrifice another thing to be.
Okay.
Okay, glad we got this clear.
Wait, what?
I like the tree vehicles.
I like the
Yeah.
tree vehicles.
Wait,
I said vehicle. I said vehicle, Ali. Step out of the vehicle.
So the tree people do follow the lead of whatever our dear friendy boy what's his fucking face says to do.
Sebastian.
Caleb? Sebastian?
Yeah. Whatever Sebastian and goddamn, what's his name? Caleb. Whatever Sebastian and Caleb say to do, they do very quickly. And you come across a clearing where they have the tree from which you fought, as well as
Huh.
the kidnapped werewolves, and the kidnapped orcs, and the kidnapped minotaur, all with glassy black eyes, as if under some type of compulsion.
Time to kill the incubus. What's this?
There are,
We're not finished.
upon a giant white slab with tubes sticking out of them, tieflings who are being drained of blood.
You piece of shit! That's what I say about you, incubus.
Everyone's a genocide, though, with it.
I mean,
So, with all this shit going on and happening in the happenings, you do recognize a few familiar faces, people that you've generally come across during this time and thought of as not quite friends, but definite acquaintances. Men and women who ran the taverns that you've frequented. General children that you remember seeing Kiara and Nezrin play with. A few doctors and nurses from, cities that you have tried to help. And atop them all, on a throne, is not the incubus. Rather, Princess Diamond.
Dun, dun, dun.
Kara's face turned from a stern frown to a very sinister glare.
What the fuck are you doing
it would be perfectly fine for you to mix up their names. They are identical twins.
Yeah, so for one has a large scar.
But Kyron knows very well because he's been around them for so long. He knows all their difference. Oh yeah, that's that as well.
So, you witness as the incubus comes up to Diamond, puts an arm across his chest, gets down on one knee, slits his wrist, and puts it to her lips. She drinks, and the scar across her face seemingly disappears.
Hold on. Okay, carry on.
Sorry.
The scar across her face disappears. The color in her cheeks appear. The general aura of her goes from that sickly, just generally unwell girl that you are so accustomed to something even more vibrant than Emerald.
Okay, so she's traitor. We kill her too.
Like I said earlier, sinners will have no quarter. Kill them all. And let Celeste sort them out.
Emerald kind of, not Emerald, Diamond kind of stands and opens her eyes. Oi! Hold on, I need to close my blinds because my dogs are dumbasses. That bark at everything that passes.
Alright.
Okay. There we go. Where was I?
Talking about Diamond opening her eyes.
Traitor's bitch.
She opens her eyes, stands, and kind of waves her arms about, opening them up from her chest to put them straight out at her side, seemingly welcoming you into a hug.
Diamond, what the actual fuck?
Where is my
Kyron's glare is
niece?
firmly placed on his head.
Not here. Most definitely not here.
She would have been so useful.
You a little one? What can I hear with that?
A few of the people that are closer to her start to seizure and fall on the ground. They are arranged into neat lines of approximately 20, and there are maybe 50 lines.
Shit.
Huh.
Diamond, why exactly are you... What
The line closest to them, the line closest to Diamond, seizures and dies. She takes a deep breath and then seems to become even more vibrant.
Oh my fucking god. This bitch.
You
What is your
know,
problem? What?
it would have been very nice to have my niece here. She is
What, so you
one
kill
of the
her?
strongest people I know. Could save a couple of them, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to have a child more involved with the war than she already is.
Why does there have to be war? My father was a warmonger. My sister is a warmonger. I never wanted war. You just brought it to my
I
doorstep.
don't care. I brought it to your doorstep because you tried to kill innocent lives.
Innocent?
The emperor's gonna try to kill people. What?
Really?
You think that
Innocent.
you have justification for killing people?
Well, look around. All of these people were in the war. All of them have killed. Or they own a tavern and don't properly check their clientele. Or they work in
It's not that
brothels.
they would have a choice.
And
Even if they did turn the warriors
And-
they would have been killed for it.
The 12 realms are owned by the Gem family. By the
they're not
Avliars.
actually.
We are the Avliars. My sister seems to have tried to take the throne for herself. She is the younger sister. It is my birthright.